right, Matt Goyer, thank you and for coming to Winning the Home Game, taking time out of your busy schedule. You're one of the top brokers in our city here, and we are honored to have you today. So
Well,
thank
thanks
you.
for having me.
All right, we'll jump right into it. So I love hearing, actually, what I should say first is we have been working together since 2022. I don't know if you knew that, but we have.
I was trying to remember. I was like, how
Yeah.
did we meet? Who introduced
Yeah,
us?
right. Good thing for CRMs. But yeah, so I think it was Rob who introduced us. Rob
Yeah.
Lagarde, yeah. So
Yeah, I can't remember exactly the details, but
yeah.
I am sure we were going through a terrible transaction with somebody else. And I was like, Rob, who are you working with these
Yeah.
days? He's like, oh, you
I
got to talk
know.
to Julie.
Yeah. Well, we're very lucky I mean, sad about your client, but yeah, that's how we meet sometimes, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And
Yep.
I should say that, your clients are always so great. And, you really inform them well, even before I speak to them. So whatever you're doing a great job.
It's
And they're
working.
very,
Yeah.
very loyal to you too. So,
Yeah. Well, I credit the YouTube. I mean, it's a great opportunity for us
right.
to meet clients kind of ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
So then once they start working with us, that they feel like they already know us and we have
Right.
this strong relationship. It just makes everything a lot easier.
Right. We'll
Yeah.
mention it again, but what is your YouTube channel so people can find you?
Yeah, we have this YouTube channel. It's called Urban Living or Matt Goyer. And we post a video a week about real estate in Seattle. Some of it is sexy home tours. We go and tour lots of penthouses, cool spaces, cool buildings. And then some of it is just purely educational.
And are you finding people from out of state coming to look at that or how?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's people from all over.
Okay.
Yeah, we definitely had a number of people who are relocating to Seattle
Mm-hmm.
find us that way and give us a call. And we show them homes and everything has worked out. So yeah, we've helped a number of people relocate that way. But then also, like, it's just crazy how many people I run into every day who are, I was in an elevator in Bellevue last week and some guy's like, I know you
Oh
from
my gosh.
somewhere. I'm like,
I love that.
I don't know you.
It's
He's
the
like, oh,
glasses.
it's that YouTube channel.
That is hilarious.
You drive around on your boat a lot. I was like, yes, that's
Oh,
me.
that's great. That's wonderful. The people feel like they know you and they can come up to you and talk to you, right?
Yeah, no, I think it's a great
That's
conversation starter.
Yeah.
So
I love that. That's great.
it's a lot of fun.
All right, here we go. Let's jump right into it. So before real estate, you did have a life before real estate. You built an impressive career in tech, marketing, and program management. How did those experiences ultimately lead you to start your own real estate brokerage and a very successful one at that?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I mean, the thing that's not on there is that as a side hobby, I was writing this blog about Seattle real estate. So I moved to Seattle in like 2004 and started looking for a condo. The market was crazy. It was kind of before the internet too. You had to go buy the Seattle Sunday Times. And so I started writing this blog about real estate because there's nothing online. So that's the main thing that kind of led me down this path, actually.
A blog as not when you weren't a real estate agent.
Nope, it was just
Okay.
as a hobby back when people
Wow.
blogged as a hobby, and now no one blogs. But
Wow.
yeah, and then how did tech work into that? I would say it was my frustration with an office job that likely really drove me to real estate
Right.
as a
love
full-time thing.
I love that. That's great. And what about the marketing and program management?
Yeah, well, I ran marketing at Redfin for a while in its early crazy years. So learned marketing, the hard way, doing it, not going to school, but we just learned a lot of things on the fly. And I think a lot of that's been brought to my business because as a real estate agent, you spend a lot of time helping people, but first you got to meet the people somehow, and that's
Right.
where marketing comes in.
That's great. Great background. Okay, so with your background in mathematics and computer science, you bring a very analytical approach to real estate agent, which our clients love because we have software engineers. I mean, we're in the tech hub here, so that's really helpful to have that engineer brain. But buyers can fall in love with the the floor plan. But what data do you look at behind the scenes to determine whether a home is truly, a good investment for them?
Yeah. I wish I could say I really applied that mathematics and computer science background all the time. To be honest, though, I think that really just helps me understand the mindset of a lot of buyers in Seattle. Like I've worked at some big tech companies in the area, and I kind of get the people who work there and how they think about things. But honestly, I mean, a lot of our pricing decisions a lot of it's just based on gut feel these days. Like, and maybe that's the benefit of having done it for a long time and having studied the numbers for a long time is that you can walk into a situation and evaluate it reasonably quickly in terms of like, okay, what is a fair price for this or not? And then at least have that background so you can speak confidently about
Right.
why your position is that position on the price.
Does it seem like your clients do love a lot of data and that's what you provide?
Yeah, I'd say a good number of them are very analytical. I think the challenge is to get people sometimes out of the spreadsheet.
Right.
A lot of our clients, we had one in particular recently who I was like, you're too focused on the spreadsheets and the numbers. Like he was so focused on getting a deal and this kind of deal. And I'd always be like, do you actually like the house or do you like the
Right.
deal? Because like you got to live with the house for 5, 10,
Right.
20 years. Like I'd want you to love the house, falling in love with the deal. Like you're going to like the deal for a little while, but
Right.
you really got to love the house. So I think some of that is actually trying to get these guys to back away from the numbers and really think about it from a
Right.
more emotional decision and be like, you actually like it.
I think you're the perfect person to actually tell them because you are analytical too. So that's really helpful.
Yeah, and I'm always happy to nerd out on that stuff. But
Yeah, that's fun too. All right, so you've become known for specializing in some of Seattle's most unique properties, including lofts, floating homes. You still have a floating home currently?
yes, I'm down to one floating home.
And how many have you had before?
We've lived in 5.
Wow.
At one point, we owned 3 at the same time. That was a little too many.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot. New construction and mid-century moderns. What is it about these homes that excite you? And what should buyers know before purchasing any of these types of homes?
No, I mean, I love different things about all those different housing types. And some of those represent, I fell in love with them at different stages of my life, right? So, like, when you're new to Seattle, in your 20s, working in tech, I mean, the idea of a loft is a great fantasy and a lot of fun, right? But eventually you get married and have kids and outgrow all of that. And so then you still want something that embodies that. I don't even know how to call it.
Coolness.
That cool. Yeah,
Yes.
it's cool. It's unique. It's different. It's not cookie cutter.
Right.
And so then, okay, well, what is that as a grown up? And then for us, that was, the floating
Floating
home life.
home. Wow. Right.
I mean, it's not like a loft, but it's like really unique like a
Right.
loft is.
Right. And that's exactly what happened to you probably, right? You bought a loft and then, did you buy a loft?
Yeah,
your first
yeah,
home?
yeah. We had a loft on Capitol Hill for a number of years. It was quote unquote a new construction loft when we bought it in 2005, 2006. Yeah, and then kind of outgrew Capitol Hill, as people often do in their 30s sometime, moved to East Lake to a floating home. And floating home life has been really good.
That's wonderful. I love it. And you have how many kids?
We have two kids,
kids.
7 and 10. They've grown up their entire lives on floating homes.
Do they love it?
I would say they mostly love it, until they go to a friend's house who has a yard, and then they're like, why don't we have a yard? Why don't we have a dog? And I'm like, well,
It would be, I mean, as a kid, I think that would be really cool. But yes,
I mean, now's the time.
Right,
Like, it's the middle of summer right now in Seattle. It's
Right.
not 80 degrees today, but it's
Right.
80 degrees a lot. They're in the water all day long. It's a blast.
That's so
I mean,
fun.
being in a floating home community, well, at least on our dock, it's kind of an exception. There's kids everywhere. Our neighbor has a huge
Wow.
inflatable trampoline and a slide, and we jump off the roof,
Oh.
and it's like summer camp.
sounds like one big vacation for the whole summer.
It is. I mean,
Yeah.
it feels like you're living on a vacation, even when it's not the summer. And that's what makes it really special.
Love it. So for someone considering a loft as their first home, what are the biggest advantages of living in a loft, and what are a few things that they should know before making that decision? You mentioned a little bit of it earlier. You're younger. And
Yeah,
You'll
well, I think
outgrow
the appeal of the loft is like you've got a big space and it's big volume. Like typically you're going to have really high ceilings. So it just gives you a lot of space to do whatever it is that you do and enjoy, whether that's entertaining or big format art or, we've seen all kinds of crazy things in the lofts around Seattle. And usually we have a number of these like older, what I'd call a vintage loft. They actually took an old industrial building that was built in the 1800s, early 1900s, and then converted it to condos. And those, in my opinion, are the best. They're great. The thing I think a lot of people maybe don't appreciate till they live in one or, okay, well, do you actually have a bedroom? No, your bed's in the middle of everywhere. Like,
Right.
what are the logistics of that?
Right.
Like, actually, you got to
No-
take it through that.
visitors spending the night. Probably.
Yeah, guests are challenging.
Yeah.
Window coverings. What are you going to do about
Right.
window coverings? The heating bill or cooling bill. Like you have a massive volume of space you've got to deal with. So there's some pros and cons to loft life, like there is to all the different
Are there
lifestyles
some
out there.
available right now?
There are, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's always kind of like a handful on the market at any given point.
Right.
The unique thing about right now is there's actually a couple true artist lofts for sale down
Oh,
in
wow.
Soto. They're very cool, but you know, a lot of buyers come to us wanting to buy there. But you do in fact have to be an artist.
Right. That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So based on your experience living in a floating home, what should buyers understand about the lifestyle, ownership, buying process before deciding if it's the right fit? And there's specialized lenders for this, of course. But yes, go into more,
Yeah.
please.
Well, I mean, on the lifestyle, it's, you know, we touched on it a little bit. I mean, it just feels like you're on vacation every day, which is awesome because you're only minutes to downtown. Like there are floating homes in other parts of the world and there's floating homes in other parts of the United States, but like to be able to live on one 10 minutes from downtown is incredibly unique. So
Right.
that's what I think makes our area really special. And we have access to a lake that has a little bit of everything. Like we have restaurants, we have bars, there's a couple different quickie marts you can boat to, and we're a working waterway. So there's just so much to see on Lake Union and everything that's connected to Lake Union. You know, you can get to the Puget Sound, you can get to Lake Washington. Like it's an amazing lifestyle. And then I think the thing that a lot of people don't appreciate till they live on it is the community aspect where in some ways it's like a condo, you know, in a condo or a co-op, there is some aspect of community, but that's like supercharged when you live on a floating home
Right.
because you're walking by everyone's home every day as you walk down the dock and there's a lot of community activities and everyone's into, you know, similar things because you live on the water. And so that's really the amazing thing about living on the floating home, especially ours. Like it's a very diverse community of people at all stages of their lives, and
Wow.
it's a blast. But in terms of like, okay, you're thinking of buying one, what do you need to realize? Like, I mean, for us, our home is the furthest away from the parking lot or the garage out of any of the homes on our dock. So, you know, you got a long walk. If you forget your phone, it's a pain in the butt. Hauling groceries, like we usually Instacart a lot, which has challenges because they can never find your floating home.
Ah,
But then yesterday, I don't know, did groceries the old-fashioned way. You know, it takes several trips to get your groceries to and
oh,
from the car.
yeah.
You know, when you have little kids, you got to lug them around. There's no garage, or no garage for your like bike stuff and all that kind of stuff. So it's an issue. And then the things to really consider from a purchasing standpoint are going to be, yes, there's only a handful of lenders that you can work with. They're local lenders. They're extremely specialized in floating homes. There's like two who do the majority of the business. And then you're buying something that floats on water. So you can't just do the regular things that you do when you're buying a home. So you're like, yes, you have to inspect the structure, but you need to get some scuba divers to come in and inspect the underside of the home and tell you if it's going to keep floating or not. And you have to, you know, understand the finances of the dock. Like you are most of the time becoming a part owner of a dock, and docks look fairly simple, but those pilings, if a piling needs to be replaced, that can actually be a very expensive proposition. So it's good to have an agent who understands the floating home lifestyle and understands the logistics of buying a floating home.
Right. I didn't realize there were so many things you had to consider. And what about mortgage rates? Are they higher typically, or are they like a 30-year mortgage or ARM? How does that work?
Yeah, no, it's very similar to getting what I would call you know, a mortgage for a land house or yeah, they're pretty similar rates. There's a variety of programs, so you can get different terms like that. The difference is like if you're buying a houseboat, so in Seattle, you know, when it looks more like a home, that's probably a floating home, and when it looks more like a boat, that's probably a houseboat. The houseboats do have 8.5% interest rates,
see.
and they're much more expensive in that regard.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
because there's only one lender for houseboats, but there's like 5 for floating homes.
Locally. That's interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
great. All right. So what about mid-century modern homes? You know, having a passion and a following for that, what original features are worth preserving when you're thinking about renovating?
Oh yeah, I see so many mid-century moderns online, and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe they did
They
that
did
to
that.
the kitchen.
What's an
Or
example of that? They just like totally changed the
I mean,
vibe.
the classic is they put like shaker style cabinets into a mid-century
Oh.
modern. It's like, no, you gotta do flat slab cabinets, or they paint over all of the wood.
Oh.
You know, old growth, great cedar, or whatever. I mean, so often we see it painted out, and I get it. Like sometimes, yeah, the all white magazine look can look good, but I mean, it's such a one-way decision. Like
Right.
it's if
Yeah.
you change your mind or someone changes their mind in the future about painting over all the wood, it's extremely hard to get it back to wood.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're going to have some fun questions about you. So what's a money tip you live by? Or do you have one?
Yeah, I was trying to think about what is my money tip. Uh, and at least something I've said a number of times. It's probably not the best money advice to live by, but it's that you can always make more money. So you
I
got to
like
enjoy
that.
life. You got to enjoy your money. And
right.
worst case, you just go make some more.
That's right. And
Yeah.
we're pretty blessed to be in the industry that, allows us to, sky's the limits if you really think about it. Just got to do a great job and make sure you have a following and all that good stuff. So
You
yeah,
just got to hustle harder.
that's right. Exactly. A
Yeah.
little bit more
Yeah.
work. I love that. That's my favorite one so far, I think.
I'm trying to think of
Yeah.
something really unique. And I was like, oh, that is really
Yeah.
at least true for me.
And you live by it, right? So that's good. Okay.
Yeah, don't look at my savings account.
Well, okay, so appliances. Do you have something that your house can't live without? Well, that's
Oh yeah, this is so easy
Yeah.
to answer, especially in this day and age. I'm all about induction. Buyers love gas.
oh,
They always want to see gas. They tour some of these newer buildings. They don't have gas. They get sad, but like, gas is terrible. I've had to cook on gas recently at some vacation places. I hate it. Induction's so much better. It's faster. It's cleaner. It's easy to wipe down. You know, you're not splattering bacon grease all over these weird things, and it's hard to clean.
is that
and-
where you have to have the specific pan on top of it? Like the pan has to touch
Yep.
it? It has to be
Yep.
specific?
Yeah, but there's a lot of different types
Yeah.
of pans that work on induction these days.
Okay.
So um,
Are builders
the
building
future.
to that right now? Builders do you
they
see that?
are. I mean,
Oh,
the city
okay.
of Seattle, being as city of Seattle as
Right.
we are, has tried a number of times to outlaw gas, and I can't remember where we are right now.
Yeah.
I think that law got repealed in the last election.
Okay.
But
Induction's
there's a lot
way to
of energy credits and scoring things that go on in the construction of new buildings, and so many buildings are putting in induction, and I think that's a great decision.
Right, I agree. All right, so when buying new construction, buyers are often choosing a home before it's completely finished. How can they confidently evaluate the quality, design, long-term potential of something they can't really fully see? I know we don't have a ton of new construction in Seattle, but you seem to have a history with that. So what would you say?
Yeah, we've helped a lot of people buy new construction condos,
Okay,
and then certainly there's a lot of new construction townhomes and
right.
spec homes in the area, and I would say it's really hard to evaluate that ahead of time. And we've seen even in examples where you're like, this is a well-known builder and all this should be true, it should be great when it's done, and then it's not. So I think you really have to go in with your eyes wide open. You have to plan for the worst case, and if you can, you should wait till it's done.
Really?
I mean, there are
So no
some
pre-sales?
advantages to buying early, but I think in this market, at least it's moved to a much more buyer-friendly market where
Right.
you could be patient and you could wait and see
That's
how it turns out and really decide then if it's the right fit for you or not.
Right. That's a good point. All right. So you lived in several different types of Seattle homes, neighborhoods. How has your own experience, like as a homeowner, changed the way you think about what makes a home truly, what truly works for someone's lifestyle?
Yeah, I mean, when I first moved to Seattle, lived on Capitol Hill for a long time, and then now we live in East Lake, and they're similar but different neighborhoods. And real estate obviously has taken me all over the city and all over our cities, so you get to see a lot of different things. I think the thing for buyers to keep in mind that I've learned over the years is you can't just think about where you are in the moment when you're thinking about buying a home. Like, you really have to think ahead to like, okay, where are we going to be this many years from now? And in our not like where you're going to be physically, but like in your life stage. Like, okay, we work with a lot of first-time home buyers, and like they just got married. It's like, okay, well, you're probably going to have kids soon, and is this Belltown condo going to make sense for you as newlyweds? No, probably not. Like, or at least not for a really long time. It'll be good for a short time, but then that's not going to be a good fit, and it's going to be hard to sell. So you really got to think about the future. And certainly when we look at our real estate purchases over the years, I mean, obviously there's some things we would have done differently, and probably should have anticipated a little bit more what lifestyle changes would result as, having
Even a
kids.
pro
and
like you,
even a pro like me, yeah.
exactly, you can get wrapped up in the excitement of the house or,
Yep.
Is that
Yeah.
right?
You can get wrapped up in all that. And then also, the thing to understand is it's hard to make a big change. So, at some point, uprooting your family to go to a different neighborhood or city is hard, and so it's easier to do that
Right.
before you have kids, or it's easier to do before your kids go to school,
Right.
kind of a thing. We'd always in our head be like, oh, okay, we're gonna move to Mercer Island like when the kids are in high school or something.
Right.
It's like this distant thing,
Yeah.
and now their kids are,
So hard to move kids when they're in school, right?
yeah, but like now we're well into, elementary age kids and all that stuff. And it's like, probably should have just like bit the bullet on that, before they went to kindergarten.
Right. So now do you think you're going to stay in the same school district so they can go to the same schools if you do move in the future?
We're making some changes on the
Yeah.
school district front. I mean, schools
are you?
in Seattle are
Yeah.
a challenging
Right.
situation. But yeah, one of ours is in Seattle Public Schools, and she's had a pretty good experience.
Oh, good. That's great.
Yeah.
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 All right. So you've owned rentals, right? Rental properties?
Yeah.
How many have you owned throughout the years?
I don't know. A handful.
Handful.
More than a handful. Yeah.
So a first-time buyer who hopes to eventually build a real estate portfolio, are there features that they can look for in their first home that may create options for them later? I get this question too. with
Oh, we get it all the
clients.
time in Seattle. Yeah. Everyone has the dream of like,
Right.
okay, I'm going to live in this home for 5 years
Right.
and then I'm going to turn into a rental. Usually I first start with a conversation of like, do you know what it takes to be a landlord and do you really want to be a landlord? And oftentimes that'll talk them out of it. But if not, I mean, if you're looking at buying a condo as your first home, then absolutely you want to make sure that you could rent your condo out in the future. There are a number of condo buildings that have massively long rental wait lists, and they would not make any sense if you wanted to rent it out in the future. So you have to find a rental-friendly condo building if you're looking at condos. And then in terms of whether you're looking at a townhome or a single-family home, I mean, it's just you got to find something that's going to be desirable and easy to rent out and easy to maintain. And that's easy to say, but there's certainly a lot of homes in Seattle. Most of the homes in Seattle are well over 100 years old, and they are not easy to maintain. So that's something else I'd be thinking about.
What about stretching, most of our clients are buying well under their approval amount. They apply for an amount, but they're maybe going for $1 million purchase, but they're actually approved for 2 million. Now, not that they're jumping to the 2 million, but they're very, scared and risk averse. Would you recommend increasing that budget a little bit to get the home that they really want? How do you feel about that?
I think you have to think about how that home fits within your life stage.
Okay.
Like, would I stretch as someone in my 20s for a condo? Probably not. But if it's like a newlywed couple and you could see yourself, if you stretched in the home for 20 years, I would absolutely stretch.
Really? Do you wish you did that? Or maybe you did?
We have such a weird real estate history.
You do. You really do.
I wish. Instead of building the home that we're in now, which is amazing, I wish we would have, probably moved to Mercer Island and done the suburban lifestyle a little
Right.
bit sooner. But at the
Right.
time, certainly did not feel ready to
No one
live
can predict
that.
the future. It's so hard
Yeah,
to
no, it's
figure out
so
you're
hard.
gonna have exactly 2 kids,
Yeah,
this
and when
that.
you're gonna have, and what it's all
Right.
gonna be like, and what's ever going on like. Yeah, I mean that's why it's good to work with a real estate agent who's been through some of this
Right.
stuff, so that they can give you some perspective on that.
100%. And
Yeah.
then did you, those homes that you picked, did you actually make a profit from that? Or that you're able to turn around and buy, another
Mm-hmm.
property or?
For a while, I was really fixated on making money on every single piece of real estate that I bought. And for a while, that was pretty true. And then it's become untrue more recently. And so what I'm telling myself is you got to think about it from a portfolio approach. Like when you buy a lot of homes, like some of them are going to work out and
Right.
some of them aren't going to work out.
Right.
But as long as a whole, everything works
Right.
out, then it works out. But yeah, I mean, I think the biggest mistake we're guilty of is over improving homes.
I've done that
Spending
too.
too much on the remodel
Yes.
and not getting the money back when you sell it.
Right.
And did we go into it knowing that was a very likely possibility? Yes. So, we can't be too upset about it.
Right.
But my suspicion that we were overspending was true.
I've been there. I totally get it. Right.
It's hard.
So over the years, you've had the opportunity to help so many people buy homes. What's something you've learned that you think every first-time buyer would benefit from knowing?
So I think first-time buyers really need to be patient. A lot of buyers come to us saying, "Oh, I'm not going to buy a home. You know, right now it's middle of 2026. Oh, I'm not in a rush. I'm not going to buy in 2026. We're going to buy in 2027." But then the ball starts rolling and they start moving and they start moving really, really fast. And so often I feel like we're having to unwind buyers and be like, "Do you really love this home? Is it a good fit for you? Are you buying because it's a deal? Are you buying it because of parent pressure? Are you buying it because you're about to have a baby?" And we see a surprising number of people where I'm like, "I don't think you should buy this house. Like,
Wow.
I think you're moving too fast for any of those reasons." And in Seattle right now, like buyers are in the driver's seat. Like it's okay to pump the brakes. It's okay to be patient. Um, some homes will get away from you, and most of the time, though, you'll be glad you waited.
Right.
And
Waiting for the right house,
waiting for the right
the home that they
house.
love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially, we see this with the bidding wars too, where like people, they lose a bunch of bidding wars and then they're just bidding on anything, like the next
Right.
home that comes up.
Right.
And they have to make a decision so fast and then they're offering on it. And then I'm like, "Ah, but do you, like, if we win, are you excited? Like,
Right. That's true.
are you just offering, like, why are we doing this?"
Right. That's good advice, especially coming from a broker. If you think about it, like be patient.
Yeah, be patient, buy a home that you
Yeah.
love. And certainly, like, we've been in this business long enough that we've
Yeah.
helped people go full cycle where
Right.
they bought a home and now they need to sell it and they're buying another home. And, I want to be excited to sell
Yeah.
as excited to sell your home as I was to help you buy it. And there are homes out there that you won't be excited to live in. We won't be excited to sell. Like, just be patient.
Patient.
Be
I love that.
patient.
That's
Yeah.
really, that's amazing
I think
advice.
most buyers that we run into, need to be just a little more patient, which is funny to say in this market because
Right.
it is a buyer's market, and
Right.
buyers, for the most part, if you get a bunch of real estate agents together, we're like, "Oh man, buyers like
Right.
can't make a decision to save their lives in this market." It's
Right.
like,
Right.
yeah, but you're gonna spend $1 million or $2 million, the most expensive purchase you've ever made.
That's right.
You gotta heavily consider it. You gotta spend more time thinking about it than you do like buying whatever it is you're buying on Amazon.
Right.
Like I've absolutely researched things on Amazon for longer than I've thought about buying a house.
Right. Yeah. And you think that our buyers are more analytical and they would be a little bit more patient, but you're still seeing that.
I think there's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
There's family pressure, societal pressure, lifestyle pressure, coworker friend pressure. Like there's just a lot of different
Right.
things pushing buyers to do things. And I think we see the family, you probably see the family one thing. I mean, we see
Yeah.
parents involved often.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And I think being able to just take a breath and think about, for you, is this right, is
Right.
really important.
Right. I love that. Awesome. Well, thank you, Matt, so much for coming. Where can our viewers find you?
Yeah, well, we have this great real estate website called urbanliving.com. And then we've got this YouTube channel.
Right. There's
Also,
a lot of great information,
yep,
like boom, boom, boom.
boom, yeah,
Yep.
video a week. It's a lot of effort. Some of those videos, they involve, we drive around on Lake Washington and go look at super cool homes.
Yeah.
That's
It's
a lot of fun. And
site. It really, really is. Yeah.
some of it is me telling you the kind of homes you shouldn't buy in Seattle. So it's a
love
little bit
it.
of everything.
I love that. Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me.